The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report, TV and radio. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Live from the PWR studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is the Pro Wrestling Report Post Show on Blog Talk Radio with your host, Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Post Show here on Blog Talk Radio for WWE RAW, Monday, June 13, 2011. Damian Nelson coming here from the PWR studios, along with David Octavius, the Tiberius Hero. David Hero Raw is in the books, and this week it was highlighted by several things, including a guest general manager in Stone Cold Steve Austin, Roddy Piper with the Piper's Pit, the return of John Morrison, and Capital Punishment finally takes shape. A good Raw tonight, a 3-hour all-star Raw tonight. Seemingly it delivered from the feedback that we've gotten from you on our Facebook page and on Twitter. But we're going to throw it right to all of you on the phones to share with us your highlights and your lowlights of WWE Raw. You can join us. The number, 347-996-5278. Again, that's 347-996-5278. Indicate that you want to talk, and we'll identify you by your area code from which you're calling from. And once we do that, please share with us your name and the city that you're calling from, and we'll go from there. Tremendous discussion going on in the chat room on Blog Talk Radio here as well, and we want to remind you to follow the show so that you never miss an episode of the Pro Wrestling Report here on Blog Talk Radio. Proud to be the #1 sports show for months here on Blog Talk Radio.
Don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now.
Let's go to our first caller who comes to us from the 707 area code. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
What's up? This is Ruben over here in Sonoma County, California. How you doing?
Ruben, tremendous. How are you tonight?
Oh, man, tremendous. I was so quickly to call you up and give a bad grade to Raw until the main event. And
because John Cena lost?
Well, not only that, but what R-Truth is doing. He is really red hot right now. And I know that this was supposed to be all the superstars and everything, but mainly we only saw the guys who are going to be on the pay-per-view this Sunday. That's who we really saw.
Well, isn't that who we should have seen? Because there is a pay-per-view Sunday, and WWE at this point, before Raw went on the air tonight, had only announced 3 matches. We saw several more matches added tonight, but isn't that really what they needed to do?
Well, yes and no, but if you're going to say all-stars, and this is my opinion, when you say all-stars, and the way they promoted it last week, they had it where you even saw Zack Ryder, you saw JTG, you even saw the Masterpiece, you saw all these people pop up, and you were thinking, okay, we're going to see all these people, and you only really saw the main event guys. Now, I know they got a pay-per-view they got to promote, but if you're going to promote that, have everybody there. At least do like a battle royal, or the winner will get a U.S. or Intercontinental title shot or whatever. But just promote everybody like you say you're going to do. Now, Raw turned out to be good tonight. That's the one positive I would say. Raw, it actually showed a little bit more wrestling tonight than what it normally has done in the past, where we see John Cena in 3 segments doing You Can't See Me and all that other stuff. Tonight, I'll give Raw A-. Only reason why I gave it an A- and didn't give it a full A was because it didn't promote everybody. That's the only reason.
All right. Well, Ruben out in California, thank you so much for that phone call and being a part of the post show. David Hero, I think one thing that's clear is WWE is built a star in R-Truth, and R-Truth is seeing the highest level of popularity that he has ever seen in his career. The question going into Capital Punishment this Sunday, does he have enough steam, if you will, to be believable in his challenge to John Cena?
Well, I don't think he has any believability he can beat John Cena, but they did a nice job of, setting that up tonight, by having R-Truth involved and making John Cena look a little vulnerable going into the pay-per-view on Sunday, which really, it's not going to affect me too much considering Super Friends have.
I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. You know what? Fine, you had a good night last night. But a war is not about a battle. It's about the final battle, which will happen going into WrestleMania 28 next year, where Damian and the Nelson family will be dominating you, the Mighty Mouse Club, like we have for the last several months. But more important than that, David Hero, all of our great fans out there have now the opportunity to join the draft. You can be a part of the PWR Fantasy Draft. Just go to pwrshow.com and go ahead and sign up to be a part of the first season of the Pro Wrestling Report fan version of the Fantasy Draft. And you too can bask in the joy that I did for months and will again soon of defeating Dave Hero and his team of course, people who, there are no risks on your team. When you got John Cena, when you got Randy Orton, when you got Ken Anderson, of course, at some point over a 12-month period, you're going to be in the lead. I know that won't last.
Whoa, amigo, take it easy. You got your superstars. You got... No, you don't. I guess you should complain then.
Again, we're taking your phone calls. The number 347-996-5278. We're also on Twitter. Our Twitter name is PWR Show. A couple of comments we want to share with you from tonight's WWE Raw. This first one coming from a user by the name of Big Devo ATL. He says, "Laugh my ass off. Ha ha ha. Anyone who thinks R-Truth has anything higher than a 1.876-457-29% chance of winning Sunday is a fool. I calculated." So it doesn't seem like many people think that R-Truth has a chance. David Hero, I tend to agree with that unless there's some huge swerve coming down the road. I see no reason for R-Truth to become the WWE champion.
But it is the wonderful world of pro wrestling, and anything absolutely is possible. I mean, let's think about it. David Arquette, former world champion.
Yeah, in WCW.
Well, hold on. You got Gilbert as a former champion.
Okay, not heavyweight or WWE.
Even Cody Rhodes got to win at WrestleMania. I mean, anything's possible. But, boy, would that just turn the wrestling world upside down if R-Truth, Ron Killings, K-Quick defeats John Cena to become your Wait, that would really suck for me. No, there is no chance in hell that John Cena's going to lose to Ron Killings.
By the way, John Morrison returned on Raw tonight, meaning he is back now, part of the Nelson family, and unfortunately, I don't have the joy of having R-Truth as part of my fantasy team this Sunday at Capital Punishment because I am fair, and those were the rules, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But enough about that, but we want to remind all of you to go to the PWR website, pwrshow.com, sign up for your version, the fan version of the PWR draft. Let's go to our next caller, calling us from the 630 area code. Caller from the 630, you are live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Damien, this is the Pros from Geneva, Illinois. How are you doing tonight?
Absolutely fantastic. How are you?
I am #, tremendous, of course.
That's the only way to be, yo. Hey, tell us what you thought about WWE's All-Star Raw tonight.
I was very surprised. I was flipping in and out when I was watching, I'll be honest. But when I saw Austin, he's always entertaining, of course. I'm glad he's not going to hopefully not be back last week because WWE can't rely on him always. Glad to see Andy got a little bit of a rub, even Alex Riley with Roddy Piper. But my biggest surprise had to be the main event and the crowd reaction with CM Punk and John Cena.
A lot of Cena sucks chants coming from Long Island, New York.
Yes, a lot, and I'm not exactly surprised. I'm just surprised on how long into the match, for how long that crowd was just all over this main event match. I don't know. I wasn't feeling that it was that special, but man, the crowd was into it.
And I think they were into it because, the man who's in WWE's doghouse, if you read the sheets, CM Punk, gets that opportunity and a pinfall victory over CM Punk tonight in the main event on Raw.
That was tremendous.
Well, Praz, thank you very much for that call from down in Geneva, Illinois. Again, we're taking your phone calls all night long. The number, 347-996-5278. David Hero, we saw tonight Sheamus on WWE Raw, now using a bit of a submission finishing hold. A bit of a surprise there, or does it more match Sheamus's beat-em-up style?
I think that it's exactly what Sheamus needs. Is now he can either kick him with the big kick or make him tap. He's going to be one of the complete heels on that roster, either Raw or SmackDown, and it's always nice to have a heel with a submission-type move. And you know what? Sheamus is, they're going to rebuild him, not rebrand him, but they will rebuild him and make him back to one of the top guys in the company.
And it should not be forgotten that he was indeed on top of the mountain for a time when he was WWE Champion, back when you were on his bandwagon.
I still am on his bandwagon. I love
No,
it.
you're not. You're a fair weather fan if I've ever seen one.
Amigo, listen, the only team I care about is my own team. And that's the Super Friends. And they're in first place, and that is what makes me smile, being right and happy.
Let's go to our next call. Calling us from the 318 area code. Caller from the 318. You are now live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Caller, you're live from the 318. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Just making sure. It's Will from Louisiana. How you doing tonight, Damien?
Absolutely tremendous. Well, what did you think of WWE's 3-hour All-Star Raw tonight?
Pass. That's all I can say is pass. Monday Night Raw was very good tonight from start to finish, in my opinion. Austin coming out. Anytime Stone Cold's on TV, you got to watch if you're a wrestling fan. He was the fixture point of the 90s, and let's face it, he's more entertaining than half the WWE roster today. Just saying.
Miz not included, understood. You know, I got to say this.
Oh, absolutely, Miz not included. I'm a Miz Marquis.
Oh, welcome. Tremendous. See, in the millions of us out there. Here's
Hey,
one thing, Will.
hey, Damien, how old is Roddy Piper?
How old is you? To stop it, David Hero. He had to win tonight. He doesn't get the chance on TV every week to come out and have a matchup.
Why is it that the Miz, if he's not fighting John Cena,
David Hero, shut
guys
up and
that
just let the Miz have his time on TV.
Yeah.
He did have his time, and what did he do? He fumbled and kicked the ball out of bounds.
He did fumble and kick the ball out of bounds. David, at least he's making millions of dollars, and he will be the WWE champion again one day. I bet on it.
Well, for your sake, I hope so, and he's not making millions, but he's pretty damn close.
Well, yeah, you're right about that.
Those of you that didn't know, Roddy Piper did have a victory over The Miz tonight only because Alex Riley was a special guest referee.
But I want to talk about that real quick. That's exactly what I was about to get to. I said it about a week ago or so, and I'm saying it again. Alex Riley is a star, and he is going to go very far in the WWE. I can bet anything on it.
Well, when you have the rub of The Miz, I mean, you can't fail. Here's one question, though, or one statement.
The Miz has the rub of The Miz, and he lost to Roddy Piper. What are you talking about?
Here's what I will say. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
David Hero's mic muted if he's going to keep talking badly about The Miz. I'm not down with this. This doesn't have.
I got the golden mic, baby. I get paid too much to talk about this kind of stuff.
Stone Cold. This is not Fox News. Let's not all talk at once. All right. We're going to keep things safe.
You and David Hero get into the fight all the time. I want to join in. It seems like fun.
We're going to keep things safe. And we're going to keep things sane here in his house, all right? So just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. But I will say this about Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is a legend. He is arguably the biggest star in the history of the business. But I think he's being overused for specialty in WWE, and he has lost his special appeal on WWE programming. Now, Raw suffered a bad rating last week. WWE Over the Limit, which was a good wrestling pay-per-view, reportedly did not get very many buys. Matter of fact, may have been one of the second least purchases, or one of the 5 least purchased pay-per-views in WWE history. With all that being said,
headlines
John
by
Cena.
who?
John Cena.
And who? And The Miz. I quit.
Anyway, by the way, I'm sorry about talking over everybody. I just got a little excited. I'm a smart, okay? I have to do that.
Oh, that term. Well, Will from Louisiana, thank you very much for giving us a call and being part of the show. David Hero, there's no better time than now to talk about PWRshow.com.
There's only one place to get the latest from pro wrestling, including the only place to get 100% verified wrestling news. PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com, where you'll never find pop-ups or misleading headlines. Watch or listen to all of our latest TV and radio broadcasts on demand. And get caught up on wrestling news between episodes. PWRshow.com is the cleanest, friendliest, and most fan-friendly source for wrestling news on the web.
Let's go to our next caller now, calling us from the 516 area code. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jacob. I'm calling from New York.
Jacob from NYC, where they make that paste picante sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, your thoughts on WWE's All-Star Raw tonight?
It was okay. It wasn't nothing special. I want to talk about the whole CM Punk and Stone Cold promo. In my opinion, I can see this match going down, this whole rivalry going down. Do you see this as a WrestleMania quality match or a quality rivalry?
You know, we've heard about this from CM Punk mostly for a while, and we've heard a lot of fans talk about when will that confrontation between CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin happen. Tonight would be that night. I think there's some value there, but is Steve Austin going to come back and wrestle another match to do so against CM Punk? I'm not sure I see that happening right now, but the dialogue, the interaction between the two is certainly entertaining and certainly worth tuning in for, in my opinion. David Hero, chances of an Austin-Punk confrontation happening again after tonight?
When you say confrontation, is it a match or is it just a battle of the war of words? I mean, they can go back and forth with promos, you know, from now until the end of time, and that would be great. But I don't see Stone Cold getting back in the ring with anybody unless it's a Hulk Hogan, a John Cena, you know,
a Miz, a Cody Rhodes, a Crimson, a Heath Slater.
David, please check your temperature. I think you have a fever, because that certainly isn't going to happen. But it has to be a big money match. It has to be a top, you know, 3 match on WrestleMania if he's going to come back. Otherwise, why bother if you're Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Good point. Well, Jacob out in New York, I'll ask you one more question here, which is, what were the lowlights of Raw? What didn't you like about tonight's 3-hour edition? Hey, I like that. Usually people don't need to search for it because usually people are so ready to dwell on the negative, so ready to dwell on what may have been bad about a program as opposed to what might have been good.
Nothing wrong, just boring.
How great did Alicia Fox look tonight?
Definitely. Kelly, oh my God.
My goodness. Foxy has, you know what? She's there. She will be the Divas champion again. Mark my words.
Oh, really? Are you DWHS in that?
Well, if I don't have to put a date on it, absolutely. I'll DWH Alicia Fox anytime.
Sometime in the year 2018, Alicia Fox may or may not have been Divas champion for a undetermined period of time. Oh, I like that. You're a real risk taker there.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
Do you see Kelly as the next Trish Stratus? Or
who?
I mean, they're trying to make Kelly look like the next Trish Stratus.
I don't know about all that. She's been with the company for a good number of years, I believe 5 years or so, which might have been today might have been the anniversary of that. But David, here I'll defer to you on this one. Kelly's got some. She's definitely one of the
top baby.
Trish Stratus. What was great about Trish Stratus is she learned how to wrestle, and she delivered tremendous wrestling matchups.
Kelly reminds me of Terry Runnels or Stacey Carter. You know, she's a beautiful woman. She's great to look at. You can put her on the cover of a magazine, but you're not going to get a big-time match out of her the same way you would a Trish Stratus. That's
probably about right. Let's go to our next caller who's calling us from the, looks like the 972 area code. Caller, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from? All right. Actually, we don't have a caller from the 972, but we do have a caller calling us from the 563 area code. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
This is Michael from Iowa.
Michael from Iowa.
Music.
What?
I said hello.
Oh, I thought you said something else, huh?
He did. Mike, what did you think of WWE's 3-hour Raw tonight?
Well, I really couldn't find a problem with it. I mean, I don't like sitting in front of a TV for 3 hours, but I fairly enjoyed it. And the only thing that annoyed me, which is like the smallest thing you could think of, is that did it repeatedly going off. It was giving me a
that's
headache.
annoying. There's no question about that. Absolutely.
The one thing I did not like hearing tonight is that viewer's choice is going to happen again next week.
Yeah.
That.
Another 3-hour.
We know how well that went last year, so.
Another 3-hour Raw next week, and again, these 3-hour Raws. Excuse me, sorry about that. These 3-hour Raws are. I don't believe it's something WWE really wants to do because that's just more programming that could potentially dilute the product. But it's something that is very special to the USA Network, and they call WWE and say, "Hey, we need this." And WWE has to deliver, but doing it 2 weeks in a row. You remember when 3-hour Raws were special? Now, I appreciate the fact that they're theming them in the way that they are and having different themes for them, but it's diluted. It just isn't special anymore. And quite frankly, and David Hero, we were talking about this earlier, it's just another hour of wrestling to watch.
They couldn't even find 3 minutes to get Zack Ryder on the show tonight. And isn't he from Long Island?
Long Island wanted their IC. Now, Zack Ryder was wrestling tonight on it wasn't on the live broadcast. He's going to be on Superstars this Thursday, but he did have a matchup and did appear in front of the live crowd, and from what I understand, got a huge pop.
Yeah, but that doesn't do any good if it's going to be on the .com. I mean, come on, put the guy on TV.
Yep, I can't dispute that one. I tell you that.
I mean, who would have got a better crowd reaction tonight, Zack Ryder or Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes, of course, no doubt.
Well, don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now.
Let's go to our next caller, who is calling us from the 210 area code. Caller from the 210, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin from San Antonio.
Justin from San Antonio. Why don't we do this? Why don't you tell us your highlight and your low light for the 3-hour block of WWE programming tonight?
Well, the highlight for me, that would be R-Truth throughout the whole program. Him, doing his promo at the beginning, then doing the little thing with John Morrison, then the thing at the end. They're making R-Truth looking very. They're making it seem like he has a chance to walk out with the title this Sunday. My low light was.
Do you believe R-Truth has a chance? You say they're making it but do you believe that?
I believe they have a chance, but I don't think WWE will want to put the title on them quite yet.
Why not?
I just don't think WWE thinks he's ready for it. In my opinion, they always like push stars. Then they tease us with it, but they just kind of back away with it, So, in my opinion, they're making it seem like he could have a chance, but I don't think he'll actually walk out with the championship. I want him to, but I just don't think WWE wants to pull the trigger on that quite yet. As far as my low light, it has to be that stupid press conference with the Obama thing. I mean, it is very, very stupid. I am so glad that was one of the last promos that we have to see of that, and hopefully they get rid of this pay-per-view next year. Because
I don't know if you heard or saw the news, but that's a new partnership WWE has with Fox News. They're actually producing those.
Ah, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. But still, they could have came up with something better, with the Great Khali, and they could have had it done, very much better. I like the one with R-Truth. That was kind of funny or whatnot.
That was good.
Yeah, that was funny, but the other ones, it's just dumb in my opinion. They could have done something a lot better because obviously they can do it with R-Truth. They could have done it with some other stars. They could have thrown Zack Ryder in one. They could have thrown Santino in one. To make it a little bit more funny, but. In my opinion, with the Great Khali and Hornswoggle, and it just didn't work for me.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you very much for that call from San Antonio, Texas. We are taking your live calls all night right here during the post show on Blog Talk Radio. We're going to be live on 540 ESPN this Thursday night after Impact Wrestling, a special Thursday night show, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And right after, we're live on the radio. The Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV will be available as well on all of our media channels, specifically PWRshow.com. And David Hero this week, be the booker for WWE's Capital Punishment. Should be an interesting pay-per-view. Announced tonight, Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show. Already announced 2 championship matchups, Christian versus Randy Orton, and John Cena versus R-Truth. This one is, they haven't promoted it very well, let's just say that. But going into it, there could be some interesting scenarios developing there. All that and Be the Booker this Sunday on pay-per-view is Capital Punishment, and this Thursday on Primetime TV is Be the Booker. On our Facebook page, many of you had a lot to say about WWE RAW tonight. Let's go over some of those comments from Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report. John Caruso was live there, saying crowd here at the arena are going crazy for Ryder, but no Ryder. Ryan Innes saying the New York crowd is #tremendous. Cena sucks. Philip Page Royal saying crowd is electric for CM Punk. And then Colton Ashley saying such a bore tonight. Maybe next week we'll finally get over the Raw GM storyline. Not a big surprise announcement. Christian FTW. Mike Montenegro saying crowd is awesome now for CM Punk, which is a relief. The show itself hasn't been that great. I've been looking forward to Zack Ryder all night and nothing. He's in his hometown, and WWE isn't even going to give him an appearance. A lot of people talking about Zack Ryder, but David Hero, is this Zack Ryder discussion limited only to the online fans, or as Eric Bischoff calls them, the 10% club?
Yeah, I think so, because the other fans that aren't online aren't watching what he's doing. So they may not understand the big phenomenon as to what Zack Ryder is able to do, or how talented or not talented he is. You know, but I want to go back to your discussion about Ron Killing.
R-Truth.
If they couldn't put the world title on Dolph Ziggler or Kofi Kingston, or put it back on Jack Swagger, even Wade Barrett, why put it on Ron Killing?
I certainly can't answer that. I don't see any scenario where that makes sense, especially since a couple pay-per-views for now, after Money in the Bank in July from Chicago, is SummerSlam out in Los Angeles, arguably one of the big 3 pay-per-views of the year from WWE, along with WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. They got a lot of work to do to make SummerSlam interesting.
But what I'm saying is that the guys that I listed were far more over than Ron Killings, far more talented than Ron Killings, and they never let them run with the ball.
Sure. But they are in a situation now where they have no choice but to give new people the ball and let them run with it. They could go back to a Swagger. They could go back to a Sheamus. They could go back to a Del Rio. They can go back to many people. But I think that for whatever reason that those pushes may have ended, they feel the need to go with somebody new and maybe see how they're going to take.
I don't know. I just don't see Ron Killings doing it.
Several comments right now in the chat room here on Blog Talk Radio. About 200 people chatting there. Colin Rourke saying Dolph Ziggler just tweeted his dismay at the lack of Ryder on Raw, and all kinds of other discussion going on right now in the chat room at Blog Talk Radio.
Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
We're still taking your phone calls to the number 347-996-5278. Again, that's 347-996-5278. Let's go to a caller calling from our home base in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area from the 414. Caller, what's your name?
Hello?
Hello, what's your name, caller?
I'm Adam. I'm from Tulsa.
All right. What do you think
of
WWE?
Tulsa.
Awesome. What do you think of WWE RAW tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. I was just making a discussion about last week, when you were kind of having that moment where you hated it and sort of felt down about, how wrestling was going.
You should have heard him last night after Slammiversary.
Yeah, I kind of missed that. I was just saying, do you think Raw and SmackDown should actually go back to being completely separate, like as in, have their own story, have their own pay-per-views again? Do you think they should go back the way that they used to, where they only intervened during the big four, like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and Royal Rumble?
They absolutely don't have the roster to support that right now. That's why you're seeing more of this cross-branding going on. That's why you're seeing more of these special shows. That's why you're seeing the pay-per-views combined. They don't have the depth, the main event stars, the players, if you will, to support two separate brands and two separate branded pay-per-views. Those days are well behind us and long gone. Thank you for that call, Adam, out in Wauwatosa. Let's go to our next caller calling us from the 269 area code. Caller from the 269, what's your name and where are you calling from?
David from Michigan.
David, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
I am doing absolutely tremendous.
And I'm doing first place fabulous.
Oh, that's great. I guess I'll comment on Raw. Don't really want to, but I guess I will.
That's sort of what the show's about, David. So let's hear your thoughts on tonight's Raw.
I know. It was pretty bad tonight, except CM Punk kind of saved it with the promo with Stone Cold, and the match they had was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
How could Alberto Del Rio? I thought he stole the show tonight. He just shows what a good chicken heel he is. And that's what's going to draw people in to hate him even more and to tune in to watch the Big Show try to beat him on Sunday.
God, that sounds familiar, David Hero. As a matter of fact, it sounds like a man who held the WWE Championship, a title Del Rio has never held. It sounds like a man who plays that cowardly heel role so well and won time after time after time, The Miz. Now, all of a sudden, it's great.
So here's the major difference, Damian Nelson, is that Alberto Del Rio could beat a guy twice his age.
What does age have to do anything? Why? Don't you remember Aaliyah's song, "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number"?
Yeah, she was talking about R. Kelly. Come on now.
Oh, well, we know.
That's up to her parents.
Really?
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, real.
Yep. Well, overall, have you been drinking?
No, I'm fine.
Again, we want to remind you we are on Twitter. Our Twitter name is @PWR Show. Southern Siren on Twitter just saying Kelly will never be Trish Stratus. And this one's directed.
Southern Siren, she's a super friend. She knows what's going on. She understands.
Kelly, save the day.
Kelly, I'm telling you, is like Terry Runnels and or Stacy the Cat Carter.
Hey, I'm all for Terry Runnels if we can get another tit tournament.
Excuse me?
Another tournament.
Oh.
Terry Invitational tournament.
Invitational. Gotcha. All right. Well, you know what? New Jack may have something to say about that now.
Well, hey now. All right. Well, thank you, all of you, for those calls. And again, on Twitter, actually, one I didn't get to from a name I can't say. These usernames on Twitter, it's like WrestlingMark316. Abstract Mind, I'm not even going to try, but it says, Damien is smoking major crack if he thinks Cody would have gotten a bigger pop than Zack. Well, Cody's a heel. He doesn't get pops. Jeez, people.
Zack Ryder, you. What is wrong with you? Zack Ryder's a heel.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's not a baby face.
At best, he's a tweener. An in-betweener.
No, that's what Cody Rhodes is.
King D51 saying, who main evented WrestleMania this year? DWHS is a lie. A farce. A blemish.
What?
That's what the intern just handed.
That joker's got to be banned.
Looking at the chat room as well, looking for some constructive discussion there. And we've got some comments on Kelly from DJ Monimus. And Rainier911 reminding you, David Hero, that Zack Ryder is indeed a heel. And we'll, have that conversation continue. Just so you know, the chat room remains open once the show goes off the air. And we're going to be with you again here on Blog Talk Radio Thursday night after TNA Impact Wrestling. What should I call it now? I don't know. They don't even know what they're calling it. Impact Wrestling.
Just call it the Mr. Anderson Show. That's fine.
For now.
Total nonstop Anderson.
For now.
Your TNA World Champion.
Well, David Hero, I understand you have to go. Thank you very much for joining us here on the post show tonight. We'll see you Thursday after
yes.
Impact Wrestling.
I cannot wait to see you and the Collusionist Cause on Thursday.
Yep. Well, thanks, pal.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR Show and be part of the conversation. Tired of all the lies, rumors, and assumptions in wrestling news? So are we. Join us each week for the Pro Wrestling Report on ESPN Radio for the latest news and views on pro wrestling. Visit us at pwrshow.com to check the latest schedule.
I want to thank all of you who called in, callers from California, Illinois, Louisiana, New York, Iowa, Texas, Wisconsin, and Michigan. You are the greatest fans in the world out there. I want to remind you to head on over to pwrshow.com where you can sign up for the fan version of the PWR Fantasy Draft and be a part of the big cash prize for the winner of Season 1. That right now at pwrshow.com. Again, we'll be with you again live right here on Blog Talk Radio and our home station, 540 ESPN, Thursday night, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Never miss the Pro Wrestling Report here on Blog Talk Radio by following us right here, right now, and be a part of the PWR revolution on Blog Talk Radio, the #1 sports show on all of Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for all of you who've joined us in the chat room here on Blog Talk Radio as well, and the conversation about tonight's Raw and many other wrestling topics continues. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report, and Twitter.com/PWR Show. For David Hero, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in here to the Pro Wrestling Report on Blog Talk Radio.
Don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now.